What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I left it up to Instagram on a poll to vote for what they wanted episode 3 of the walk around to be. You guys all voted for my lighting setup as well as how I power all of the lights. So we'll dive into pod lights and the Garmin setup that powers all my aftermarket accessories. So just to start, I use the Garmin Power Switch. I have 2 of them in the truck. And the reason I went with the tread over the Garmin Overlander is because it has this little guy, the inReach, built into it. So let's dive into the pod lights, my beam patterns, how many of them I have, and kind of why I run them. So right off the jump, you guys can see I have 10 pod lights sitting on the roof rack. I've got 4 of the ambers and 6 of the white spots. Now the reason I did this is because this is a dual function setup, right? So I can run just the 4 yellows, or I can run just the center whites, or I can run all 10 at one time. Different scenarios, different weather conditions need different lighting options, right? So you can see on this outer lens here, this is a wide. The one next to it is a spot. So this one, the reason I did a wide angle is because I wanted this light to be able to project light out to here, right? Yellow spot to shoot yellow light as far straight forward as I possibly can in foggy or snowy conditions. And then the spots for the center, just because I wanted the maximum throw of light to go as far forward as possible as well. Ditch lights. So the ditch lights are a combo beam pattern, so mixed between a spot and wide beam, just because again I want depth as well as width. Coming down to the bumper here, I have 3 of the Morimoto 4-bangers on each side, so a total of 6. Starts with a combo here, and then it goes wide, just because I want the lights on the outside to be going out as wide on the trail as possible. In the center is just a 30-inch single row dark defense light bar. Cheap bar, throws a decent amount of light, works really well for where it's at. It fits almost like damn near perfect in the C4 bumper, almost like it was made for it. Now let's talk about these guys. So the Garmin Power Switch, you can run 6 accessories to one of these, but you can pair up to 4 of these to one app. So these can be run either through the app on your phone, just like this, where I can control all of the lights that I have hooked up to each one of them. So for my app, since I have 2 of them, I have number 2 here where I have the rear lights as well as my front locker, and then all my front lights on this one here. We are going to be adding more stuff to this, like my fridge, my sure call, and all that fun stuff will be on this number here. We may add a 3rd one to the back of the truck, but if you don't want to run the app, you can run this guy. So the reason, again, I did the tread over the Overlander is because it has the Garmin inReach built into it, which is what this antenna is right here. Let me grab mine and I'll kind of show you guys the ins and outs of it. So as you can see, my Garmin tread is mounted to my TPAM by Expedition Essentials. This has constant power. There's a little lever you pull in the back, like that, and now your tablet is mobile. So a couple nice features of this tablet is you can customize the screens however you want. You can have a pitch and roll, you can do your inReach, notifications, vehicle profile, so how tall your vehicle is, how wide it is. It'll recommend trails based on that, your altitude, anything you really want to be on these screens, you can put on these screens. Compass if you want, doesn't really matter. I usually have a map, my inReach, and then all the apps. So whether it's navigation, adventure, if you need to find like a campsite, anything like that is all going to be through here. You can also do what I did here is I put my Power Switch number 1 as basically the home screen. Now if I want to go to maps, I just click view map. It'll show me where I'm currently at, everything around me. It'll show me everything from where the bathrooms are to where tables are to where cell towers are. as well as when you're in the mountains, it'll have a 3D map showing you where the mountains are, like a topography map, where the mountains are, how tall they are, the road through them. Basically anything you could really want on your map is there. I have mine set. You can customize these too, to when the sun is going to rise and set, my current elevation, the direction I am traveling, and since I'm on 35, so there's a speedo error, I have the GPS speed of my truck right there. You can change anything you want. You can go to your music player, you can do, you know, track your route, you can go to your power switches if you want, your pitch and roll, weather, anything you really want, you can put on there. What I did is I put a little shortcut to my power switch on my maps, because when I'm usually driving, I have this up to see my speed, my direction, and what's around me. Let's say you're out and you're like, oh, I need to turn on my ditch lights. Click this little button here, boom, ditch lights, and they are now on. Turn those off. Let's dive in and I'll show you guys under the hood. So before we dive into this, you guys will see that I have not one, but two, like I said before, of the Garmin Power Switches. Everything in the truck is wired by Mitchell Blaze Off Road, by far the cleanest wiring in town. I have the running for tacos battery tie down, as well as he did ground bars and fuse blocks and all sorts of different stuff in here to make life easier for powering everything, right? So let's dive into it. I'll kind of show you the ins and outs of the Garmin, how you wire things to it, and how simple it really is. So here you have it. So this is the Blaze Off Road dual power switch bracket. Your guys' will come powder coated, so don't worry about that. The ground bar, so everything that is powered to these is ground on this bar here. Then each thing will run to its designated switch. You can manually turn on switches here if you need to. So that one turned on some yellow 4-banger pods. Wiring is really easy. So you just take this little guy here, twist it, and now, if I can get it off, you have access to what you need to wire. So anything that is power, so your power source is here, everything is grounded to the ground bar here. Basically, you take the power of each one of the, I guess, accessories you're gonna run it straight to the Garmin. Now this one, boom, is run straight there to the ditch lights. But again, everything is Bluetooth as well. So whatever you need to wire goes here, powered, right? Your negative is at the bottom right. It goes to the ground bar here. And Mitchell sells this as a full kit as well. I highly recommend it. Everything comes pre-wired, pre-cut, basically ready to go. Makes your install a hell of a lot easier. So let's talk a little bit about why I switched from the SwitchPros to the Garmin Power Switch. For one, I like that I can pair up to 4 of these together to make 24 switches. I like that it's all Bluetooth. I like that I can program more than one switch to a specific button. So within the Garmin app, as well as the tablet, you can do custom switches. So let's say you have like a trail mode where you lit up, you know, the whole front of the truck. Or if I wanted amber only, right? I could customize a switch. So the one press of a button, it turns on switch 1, 3, and like, let's say 6. Let's say those were all my ambers. If I push that one custom button, it turns on switches 1, 3, and 6, which would turn on all of the amber lights on the front of the truck. If I wanted like a chase mode, I can program chase and it'll turn on the chase lights on the rack as well as the rear bumper lights. So it's hard to say. The SwitchPros was fine. My Bluetooth on my SwitchPros stopped working, so I couldn't program anything anymore. Kind of what I had was what I was just gonna get. The physical buttons are nice. If you spend the extra money for the tread, it's actually, I think, better than the SwitchPros. I like having the ability to run all the accessories on my truck, as well as use maps, as well as log everything, see where everything is, look at altitude, look at sunrise, sunset, temperature throughout the night, all that fun stuff. But that's kind of why I switched, and I want to try different things so I can give you guys the best advice when you're looking to spend your hard-earned money on stuff like this, right? Now, the Morimoto 4-bangers, I've been very impressed with them. So far, they have never let me down, and they do get a little warm, which long-term, I don't think it's gonna have any effects on it. I've had 0 issues with mine. but they do melt snow. So if you're gonna go snow wheeling, they do get warm enough to melt the snow off. So when we have snow here and I'm driving around Colorado, I can turn my fog lights on. They get warm enough to when I park, there's no snow on the fog lights themselves. They stay nice and clear and clean. Again, I want to try as many different things as I can for you so I can give you my best educated guess when you are going to spend your hard-earned money on this stuff. I might be switching out the entire light setup on the truck, not the headlights and taillights. Morimoto makes the best headlights and taillights in the game. You guys can argue Anzo and Alpha X and all you want, but Morimoto makes the best headlights, taillights in the game. I might switch out to a different light brand just to try them out. From what I've seen, they're freaking phenomenal. And they also kind of fit the bill of I want to be in events, meeting people face to face instead of talking to a camera and then commenting or replying to comments to talk to you guys. I want to meet you face to face. So I want to go to booths. I want to go to events. You guys see the truck, see how everything's done, and then you kind of pick and choose what you want to do. If you like what I've done, do it. If you don't, try something different. Maybe I've tried something in the past that you think you would like more than what I currently run. Again though, I think the Garmin Power Switch is the way to go if you want to power a bunch of lights, a bunch of accessories, or even if you want to power like 2 or 3 lights. You just have more customizability throughout the whole entire application, as well as a lot more room to grow. Because let's be honest, you say, oh, I'm going to start with 3 or 4 lights. All right. And the next thing you know, you've got all 6 switches filled up. Just buy another power switch, put it on there, give it power, give it ground, then you're done. Download it, pair it to your app, and then you're done. Like I said, I have 2. This second one is going to be filled up here shortly, and then we might do a 3rd one. I kind of want to do one in the bed just so I can have like the physical buttons back there for, you know, scene lighting on the bed rack, on the roof rack. Again though, I'll have those manual buttons in the bed, but those 6 switches will be paired to my tablet and my phone as well. So let's say I'm out front of the truck like this, and I want the lights on the side of the rack to turn on. Go to my app, turn them on. Go to the back of the truck, hit the physical button, they're on. But yeah, that is my current lighting setup and how I basically monitor, control everything. And now if you guys want to do a similar pod light setup, I recommend getting something like the Garmin Power Switch or the SwitchPros, because when I turn on all the lights on the roof, it's like 38 amps. Now, what I did is we did it on 2 different switches because I believe, don't quote me on this, each switch can handle up to 30 amps. So, all in all, it's 38, but so far, again, no issues with the Garmin setup. It's been great. No issues with the Morimotos. They've been awesome. They're stupid bright, and they're not just stupid bright, they're super well focused as well. So if you have a spot beam, it's going way out. If you have a wide beam, it's going wide. Their light is very, very well focused with the optics they put in these lights. So there you all go. That's my current light setup, how I'm powering them, managing them. As you can see, the Morimotos are stupid bright. Having that dual function setup up top is really nice for different weather conditions. Having the yellow on the outside, white spots on the inside. Ditch lights are plenty bright. And these ones aren't on because these are wired to my, you guys can't even see them. There we go. These ones aren't on because they're wired to my OEM fog relay. Dark Defense 30-inch light bar. Definitely bright enough to get the job done. Again, this might switch just so I can try something else to give you guys more recommendations. But yeah, until next time, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.